he says 2017 Las Vegas shooting at the Mandalay Bay event. Were you guys involved to that response? All right. So can you talk about that? I'm gonna grab a water.
Let me grab a donut real quick and get my juice going. So I'm gonna tell you my
got my donuts right here.
My experience with that, and it's short. So it was my day off, and I was home. I had all my gear at home because I was in work overtime the next day, right? And one of my buddies calls up and says, "Hey, dude, what's going on down at Mandalay Bay?" I said, "I have no idea." So I turned my radio on, and it was like a war zone. Just I honestly thought it was another boom buy situation. I thought that there was casinos that were getting attacked.
No shit,
right? So I throw on my gear, kiss my wife, kiss my kid. I said, "I'm going to town." Right, I'm going. So I self-deployed. Right, I get to the my area command, which is I was working at the airport at the time. And we started getting alarms that people were jumping the secured side of the fence. Route 91 is right next to the airport. So my sergeant deploys me and a team to go to the hangars. And we recovered over 140 people that jumped the fence to get away from the situation. So we transported a few people that were hit and injured. Actually, it was Tony DeLorso that did. He transported a few in his black and white.
No shit.
But we were finding people hiding.
Wow.
Yeah, it was pretty crazy in my experience, because I'm listening to radio traffic, right? I am designated to my area. I can't go any further.
For sure.
But listening to the radio traffic, Mandalay Bay's having, active shooter. Now it's Luxor. Now it's MGM Grand. So I was like, holy shit, it's going down.
So you're thinking it's like happening everywhere.
Everywhere. And that's what I said. It was
confusing.
I thought it was another boom buy thing where they, 5 cells came in and took over 3 casinos there.
Jesus Christ.
Massacred people. Yeah. So it was chaotic to the most extent. Anything I've ever experienced is just chaotic. Right, from listening to responding to looking at these people that were scared shitless, right? And some of them had a lot of blood on it. It wasn't their blood; it was somebody that got right next to them.
Yeah,
right, dropping like flies. So that was my part in 1 October. Bryan's got a little bit more detail on his. You want to hit it? I know, buddy. I know.
It was a tough one.
Yeah. My experience was completely different. I've told the story on our channel. I think I said it somewhere else too. Yeah. Basically it was the biggest mass shooting in U.S. history. And I was acting sergeant that night. And like G said, you turn on the radio and it was chaos. It sounded like a war, like in Iraq or something, So they're all the cops screaming on the radio. There was no radio discipline. Which is what I always say, when shit hits the fan, you're going to revert to your highest level of training. And if you don't train and you're a brand new cop, you're going to shit the bed.
Yeah.
And that's what was happening. A lot of cops were just freaking out, screaming on the radio, but they needed somebody with a rifle. I said I had a rifle. I said, I'm en route. So I go flying down there. My wife at the time was listening to the scanner so people could hear, So she texted me and she's like, "You're not going to that." And I said, "I got to go."
Yeah. That's why we took the job.
Yeah. So I go flying down there. I get to Russell Luna Boulevard right next to Mandalay Bay because they said come on the south side because he was shooting out west and partially north. So they said park on the south side of the building. So I heard that, got my gear. We had 3 other guys. We go running through Mandalay Bay, going through Shark Reef. So we ran like, a good quarter mile, you got 40, 50 pounds of gear on. It sucks. So we go through, ran into a sergeant and didn't really go well. He was like, "Hey, I need a
an arrest team or something like that." Right?
No, he said, "I need a slow and methodical search of the whole casino."
You don't do that.
Yeah. And so I was like, "What?" I was like, "This ain't a 406, bro. What the fuck is wrong with you?" That 406 is a burglary.
Got it.
Right. That burglaries, you go slow and methodical, right? Active shooter, you go fast.
You go
shock and awe.
You
right?
go to the
You got to be
fire.
shock and
Go to the
horror.
fire.
Shock and horror.
Shock and horror. You gotta hit him with shock and horror.
horror.
You got to hit the guy shock and horror. So I'm like, "Dude, you're an idiot."
In shock.
Yeah, fuck this. And then Levi comes running up and he's like, "Hey, what do you guys know?" I said, "Hey, the guy's on the 32nd floor."
Levi was in SWAT.
Yeah, Levi was in SWAT. Yeah, I said, "Hey, 32nd floor." He's like, "Let's go." So the sergeant yells at us, "Stop. I order you guys to stop." And Levi turns around and it says something to the effect of, "Sir, you do whatever the fuck you got to do. We're going to go unalive this guy." And we want to. So we get up to the floor. We went up to the 32nd floor, reconned it, went down to the 31st floor, and went down the whole hallway. Right. So obviously the guy can't shoot us because we're beneath him.
Right.
Come up the side. The doors are all drilled shut. So
he planned it.
The suspect. He knew we were going to come up that way. He knew it. Yeah. So he drilled it shut. So we had to pry that open.
Now this is after 100 and something shots have gone down the hallway already.
200 and I think 21 rounds he fired down the hallway on 32nd floor, which is the hallways are about 180 yards. I know because we ran it and it feels like it never fucking ends. You're like, what the? It's like a movie. You're like, what the fuck? Is this ever going to end? Am I ever going to get there? Yeah, it's so long. You're like, yeah, it's so long. It's weird.
He had cameras on the outside.
Yeah,
surveilling people coming to the door.
There's actually a good picture of me with my rifle, looking at the door.
No shit.
Because he had a food cart out front of. He had two big doors, the French doors. What they call them? Double doors. So he had two of them. He had a big suite. His suite was huge. So we're going to blow this door. But this door needed to be watched. So I had my gun on this door. They blew the door. They roll in. We hear a 3-round burst. I roll in because I'm thinking, all right, now we're getting busy. We're going in. We're going to be in a gunfight. We like Gonzo said, I thought it was a Mumbai. I thought all of us pretty much were on the same page. Like we're going to be in a massive gunfight with these people that, come to our city. So we're going in there to end them. Like we're not messing around. We're going in there. We're going to unalive you. And we went through the door and looking around and we're like, what the hell is just one guy? We're like, this doesn't make sense.
So was he still actively shooting when you guys breached the door?
No. He stopped shooting. He had, when I got there, he was still shooting, but as I was throwing on my gear, he had just stopped. So then I was thinking, all right, shit, he's reloading. Now's a good time, but fuck, I gotta run. I gotta get to the floor.
Let me ask you a question. When you have calls like that, is it different in every scenario how your mind and your body reacts?
Yeah. Every scenario.
What I'm saying is your anxiety and your stress, does that go up and down with every call, or is it pretty much the same?
Well, listen, you could go from an active robbery. Sorry, Bryon. An active robbery that's going on, so you're amped. The next call you're catching is a unalived 14-year-old that just committed, so you have to bring it back down to sympathize with that family. Then your next call might be a violent domestic, so your heart rate is going like this.
It's an emotional roller coaster.
It is
every day,
and that's why cops don't live long after they die. They retire because they're just all wore out.
I've had 3 friends that are retired and they died.
Sorry.
Yeah. It's the job that we took, right?
They didn't even make it a year.
Yeah. But if you stay healthy, take care of yourself during the job, have a good support system, whether it be your friends, your family,
mental health.
Right.
I mean, I rally mental health here. I've been very open about it. The last couple months. I was in deep therapy as a child and into my teens, and I just stopped it all of a sudden. And I've now revisited that.
Yeah.
And I'll tell you, getting mental health is nothing to be ashamed of. If you need someone to talk to, there's always someone.
We did, and they made us go see a shrink after the October 1st. But so we go through the door. He's dead. We're looking around. He had 24 rifles. He never actually reloaded. He actually just shot, and he had 2 locations. He was shooting out of his main living room. And then he broke the window in his master bedroom. So he went from location to location. But there was, I think, 22 or 24 rifles. He never reloaded. He just picked up, shot, and he set it down, picked up, shot. But he had a paper with the windage, the yardage, the humidity. Like like a sniper. He was dialed in. He knew what he was doing. He taped up all the vents and stuff. So I don't know why he was doing that. If we're gonna gas him, but he had food and water. It looked like to me
he's going to be there for a while.
So it was kind of surprising that he didn't want to shoot it out with us. I was actually surprised at that. I really thought he would want to take some of us out as well. I mean, you just shot 2,000 people. Why wouldn't you shoot at us? They can't shoot back.
For sure. Yeah.
We absolutely can.
Yeah.
And we will.
Yeah. And you get the firepower to do it. Yeah.
So after, so the radio traffic comes out. I'm standing in the door. I see my buddy, Billy Marks from SWAT. He comes running down the hallway And he had just had shoulder surgery because I was just role playing with SWAT like 2 weeks before. And so the first thing I yelled is, "What are you doing in a full kit?" And he goes, "I'm not missing this shit." That's the kind of guys that we work with. This guy just had shoulder surgery 2 weeks.
Right in.
Couldn't even move his arm. And he throws on a full 80-pound SWAT kit. And he's running down the hallway like, "Yeah, I'm going to get some," because that's the kind of guys we work with. He's like, "I don't give a fuck if I'm injured. Fuck that. I'm not missing this shit." So as we're yelling, he goes, "Bryon, what do you got?" And then, hearing the radio, active shooter at New York. And so again, we're thinking, all right, maybe it is like Mumbai, maybe this guy and a bunch of other dudes. And I said, I'm going. Billy goes, "What do you know?" I said, "Hey, he's 419, 405, meaning he's dead and he killed himself, right? He shot himself." And he goes, "All right." He goes, "We got this. Go to New York for the active shooter." Because we didn't even know how many cops we really had and where they were at. So I looked at him. I said, "That's where I'm going." So me and my buddy Mike Teal was with me. We go running down the hallway, get in the elevator, take the elevator to the basement. Why we went to the basement, I don't know, but we went to the basement. The door opens and there's hundreds of Mandalay Bay maintenance carts. Right.
We're calling that commandeer one.
I'm tired. I'm not running no more. I'm like, fuck this. I'm taking one of these carts. So we jumped in the cart, hit the start button, and we started driving down the
Las
boulevard.
Vegas.
Yeah. Oh, shit. And trying to get to New York. Didn't make it to New York because we pulled up and it was the entrance. Yeah. It was FD was flagging us down and they're like, "Hey man, we need to go in here." And I'm like, "What is this?"
Yeah.
And he's like, "This is the entrance for the Route 91. So I'm like, I look at my watch. I'm like, "Fuck, man, you guys haven't been in there yet?" So this is, what I know. I don't know if officers might have been in there before then.
Sure.
But, I don't know. So
Right.
I just show up and they're like, "We haven't been in there yet." So I'm like, "Damn, this sucks. What the fuck?" So they're like, "You guys protect us." We do what's called force protection. We do a diamond shape around FD, right? FD's in the middle. Right. We do a diamond around and protect them. So I was the lead guy. I was front. So I would light up.
You're all right, buddy. Take your time.
I would light up everybody with my light, and FD would check them for signs of life. Black tag. And we ran out of black tags.
Yeah.
And most of a lot of the victims were women, so it was tough to sit there and see them blown apart and their heads
women
blown
should never
apart.
be hurt, man. Tell you that.
And it was elevated, so they're shooting down on everybody, so everything's like this:
head, shoulder, upper torso.
Like the first lady I ran into, she got shot, looked like in the ear, and it just blew part of her head apart. And you're sitting there looking at these innocent people, and you're like, "What the fuck, man? Like, who could do this?"
Mm-hmm.
Yeah. Is it political reasons? Like,
yeah.
There's no reason to shoot 2,000 people in America. I'm sorry. I don't care who the fuck you voted for. I don't care what you are. I don't care about any of that. There's no reason to do that, because people always ask me, why do you think you did it? And I was like, you can never look for logic in an illogical act.
Yep.
Because you're not going to find it.
Yep.
He didn't leave a note. He didn't say anything. And I know, I think there was a comment this morning on our channel. Some guy said, LVMPD is crap and we covered up Route 91. Look, you can believe what you believe. I was there.
Yeah. We both were there.
I didn't see any cover up. I saw what I saw. I know what I know. If people want to think that LVMPD covered it up, whatever.
Yeah.
But I think we did a good job. So, it was so eerie. I tell people, like, going through the door, when the first guys went through the door, they knew what to expect. It was going to be a gunfight, and they were ready for that. You're not ready to look at like a civil war scene in your own city.
Yeah. Yeah.
And when you look and you're just seeing bodies all over, and like, it was eerie because it was dark and there was like phones ringing. I mean, there was everything on the floor you can imagine: trash, wigs. There was a wheelchair all bloody. There was like a prosthetic limb I saw, like a leg. Like, this dude lost his leg literally running, We had friends killed there.
You know who real heroes were at that, Bryon? Were the civilians that commandeered vehicles from the strip, taking injured people to the hospitals. And we have 5 hospitals, and they were all overwhelmed.
Yeah.
All overwhelmed. And another thing, let me add this. That was a crime scene for weeks after, right? And we would have overtime to maintain the integrity of the crime scene. right? Nobody in, nobody out.
Yeah.
But if you're in the inner perimeter and you see all the life that was there at one point, and you just see remnants of it, it's eerie, man. Knowing what happened, how
horrible.
it happened in our town, it's fucked up.
Yeah, it's horrible.
It sticks with you, dude.
Yeah.
That's one that you will never forget, ever.
Yeah. You know, just seeing all that. And then we were out on that field for like 2.5 hours. We had to clear everything. We went under the stage. There was not a single spot of that fairground.
Route 91
that we didn't go to. I mean, we went under the bleachers. We went under the tables where they were doing all the electronics for the lights and we went under the stage.
Untoned.
We went at every porta potty. I pulled some fries or some chicken fingers out of a grease pot or out of a fryer because they were burning. So then we come out of there about 2 hours later, and now we're getting reports of shots fired at Mandalay Bay again. So we're like, fuck. So me and the guys jumped on the fire engine, which was actually pretty cool.
Yeah.
We stood on the edge of the fire engine, held on, and went flying down the boulevard at like 50, 60 miles an hour. I'd say that was pretty cool. That was pretty cool to be on. You had the wind in our face because everything we just went through, and you're just, trying to process it, and you're just like, yeah, it sucks.
We did lose an officer that attended the festivities, and he ended up dying. He got hit.
I'm sorry.
Yeah.
He was a good man.
So that's why I don't talk about this all the time.
It's a jagged little pill, man.
Yeah,
it really is.
It's tough. It's, and some of the stuff that I saw there, I'm not going to go into it big here. I saw cops doing stuff that I didn't think I would see. Cops going the other way, not going to the shooter.
Yeah.
Like going the other way.
Yeah.
And to me, if you're in that uniform, you don't have a choice. Is it scary? Fuck yeah, it's scary.
It is.
Fucking sucks. But you got to push past that.
Yep.
Because if we don't stop them,
who will?
Who will? If the citizens can't look at us to defend them, who are they going to look at?
Yeah.
So, I always thought when I became a cop in Vegas, I was going to die in Vegas.
Me too. Me too. I already imagined my funeral.
Me too. I didn't think I was going to get out alive. I really didn't. But I was okay with that because to me, it's a good honor to go out like that.
Yeah. Yeah.
Yeah.
Protect those who cannot protect themselves.
Yeah.
Right. So
thank you.
And that's why we do our channel, is to still help people, affect people, and try to change people in all ways, and help cops.
Yeah.
In all ways, because it's an imperfect world. People are people. There's always going to be evil. There's always going to be good cops. There's always going to be bad cops. And it's just, all we're trying to do is just
shed some light.
Yeah. Shed a little light and try to bring some positivity in the world and help people that can't help themselves.